Hello again and welcome to the second episode of the Two Moronnies at the Eastgate at Home project. As you can see, this time we're practicing social distancing in the style of Jacob Rees-Mogg, don't you know? And we're going to have a look at those world leaders opening their mouths and sticking their feet right in them.
Now, both our fans know that we are regular performers in the Scottish Borders and at the Edinburgh Fringe, but not many people know that we headlined the big Burns Bash down in Dumfries in 2019. Mind you, it was on a Sunday night at 10 p.m. in January, and there were as many people in the audience as there are in my garden here this afternoon.
Coming up, we have a very special guest appearance from the man who's trying to make sure that coronavirus reaches those parts of the United States that Medicaid doesn't. And we've got a folk song about unrequited love and a double bed. But before all of that, we're going to take another trip down memory lane to find out a little bit more of what Pete and Dud made of the lockdown. Oh, there you are, Pete. I've got our lunch.
Good, I'm starving. Where have you been?
Oh, there was a queue. It was Alexa's lunch break. So what's this book you're reading?
Oh, well, this is a book about eugenics by our leading eugenicist called Dominic Cummings.
Oh, Eugenics. They're a great band, aren't they?
What?
I didn't know Dominic Cummings was a fan as well.
What?
Eugenics.
Don't you mean Eurythmics, Doug?
Oh, same thing.
If you're Dominic Cummings, well, yes.
Well, what is Eurythmics anyway?
You mean eugenics?
Same thing.
We just did that gag
Oh?
badly.
Oh, yeah.
Eugenics is Dominic Cummings' way of ensuring a ready supply of pre-programmed, COVID-free voters to keep him and them Tories in power for time immemorial.
Oh, I'm surprised he's got the time to write a book on eugenics.
Really, Dad?
Yeah, what with him having to drive all that way to Durham during lockdown to look after his parents,
It was a child, Daddy. It was his child he was worried about.
and then drive 30 miles with a 4-year-old in his car to test out his eyesight.
Oh, Dad, now let's move on, shall we? Just like Boris has asked us to.
But 260 miles is a long way to go to find babysitter. I mean, Pete, I could have done that for him.
Well, I suppose you could, but...
I mean, I live very nearby. I could have just popped over to help him out.
Dad, you live under a bridge near Waterloo Station. I'm not sure that such an address is the sort from which Dominic Cummings would hire a babysitter.
Yeah, well, at least Alexa's made sure we're fed. Here, have a sandwich.
Yeah. I think there are technological barriers getting in the way of you passing my lunch to me, Dad.
Oh, yeah, I don't seem able to hand you your sandwich, Pete.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. It's my peanut butter and chips.
Whatever it is in there, Dad, I think it's still moving around.
Yeah, well, tuck it in anyway. Oh, you can't anyway, can you, anyway? Well, mine's delicious. Proper processed food, this, full of additives.
Are you eating that sandwich or are you redecorating your virtual library with it?
Oh, you're saving these things on the new high-speed train that they've decided to build.
Well, you mean the Chinese one?
The one Boris says will connect the poor people in the north to the rest of the country.
Well, who in their right mind even wants to go to the north?
Well, my auntie for a start, the one whose cat I'm looking after. She lives in Birmingham.
The best place for her, if you ask me. And that cat. Anyway, Dud, by the time we have built HS2, Auntie will be long dead. And so will we.
But I thought that's why we were getting the Chinese to build it for us. They built that COVID hospital in 8 days.
Yeah, but it fell down 2 days later.
You know, I still don't understand who this Dominic Cummings character is.
Well, you may well ask,
I
Dud.
just did, Pete.
Well, Dud, the official line is that he is the Prime Minister Boris Johnson's chief special advisor, in charge of all aspects of policy development and delivery for the whole of the United Kingdom.
That sounds like a very important job, Pete.
Ah, it's just a front, though.
How do you mean?
Dominic Cummings' real role is to ensure that the Downing Street cat gets his whiskers every night.
You what?
Larry, the Downing Street cat. Dominic Cummings is Larry's guardian angel, he is. I mean, he has to make sure that he gets put out each night, with a note telling the milkman how many pinters are required for the Prime Ministerial morning cuppa.
And Larry's morning milk.
And Larry's morning milk, yes, Dad, yes.
So that consigned food I received wasn't ordered by Alexa translating cats speak like I said.
No, I think Alexa has just got confused, you see, because Dominic Cummings has a Hawaii phone just like yours. So she's buggered up the order and your Auntie Flo's tabby is the lucky beneficiary.
Funny.
Funny, Dad, funny. Yes, funny. Your tabby, you see, has been munching on taxpayer-funded cat meat for the last 2 weeks.
Will I be arrested then?
For what?
For stealing government cat food.
Well, probably, Dad. I mean, as we speak, that Dominic Cummings, I can just imagine him rushing from his Downing Street lair.
Or his Durham lair.
Or his Durham lair, yes, Dad, yes, to take back control of his cat meat.
He likes the idea of taking back control, that Dominic Cummings, doesn't he?
Oh, that he does, Dad, but I mean, taking back control of what? I mean, I ask you.
Yeah, there must be more to running a country than taking back control of a lost case of whiskers.
Well, I don't know. I mean, COVID pandemics, trade deals, immigration laws, border controls, banking regulations, they're all straightforward things to sort out, aren't they? But controlling the distribution of cat food, well, that needs a real weirdo to sort it out. That's why Dom's in charge of the Downing Street cat.
Oh well, where shall we meet tomorrow then? Natural sciences?
Oh, how about biology?
Science fiction?
Theology?
Travel?
Not in a lockdown. Let's meet in politics again, Dad.
Oh, must we?
Well, at least we know where we are with politics.
Nah, give me fiction any day, Pete. More believable.
Moving on now to a tale of unrequited love. Made famous by the nation's grandfather, who is still performing in his 10th decade. Yes, Bernard Cribbins. All the while.
This is a tender folk song about unrequited love and a double bed. Upon the Monday morning, oh, the rain, it was a-raining. My true love came to me and said, when shall you and I be wed? I have bought a double bed, and mother is complaining. Never could abide her mother. And all the while the rain, it was a-raining. Upon the Tuesday morning, oh, the snow, it was a-glistening. My true love hadn't gone away. And so I asked her, Mrs. Pray, what was it you said yesterday? I really was not listening. Ah, I laughed, she at me. And all the while the snow, it was a-glistening. Upon the Wednesday morning, oh, the hail, it was a-hailing. My true love made a quick retort and said, to cut the story short, I called her bed the double sort. Your hearing must be failing. She called me a deaf git. And all the while the hail, it was a-hailing. Upon the Thursday morning, oh, the day was not a hot one. I said, you bought a double bed. Well, that is what I thought you said. You really must be off your head, for I've already got one. We got two now. What are we going to do with them? And all the while the day was not a hot one. On Friday, no one spoke. Upon the Saturday morning, oh, the thunder, it was frightening. I shouted so that I'd be heard. Oh, shall we marry on the 3rd? But did she answer not a word, for she'd been struck by lightning. And after that the weather started brightening. So that was that really. I picked up my rod and I went fishing. Caught 5 big trout I did. So the day wasn't completely wasted. And now to tonight's special guest. Please welcome.
Fellow Americans, this is Donald Trump, your president. The man who is in charge of setting the United States back into order, controlling the looting through shooting, but of course, my primary focus remains on defeating COVID-19. So I thought I'd take a little time out to explain just exactly what I'm doing in that regard and what I have done in that regard in terms of making sure that Americans are safe. I'm Donald Trump, your president, the man who's fighting COVID. Trust every word you hear me say, make sure I'm often quoted. Take hydroxychloroquine and soon you will have noted Donald's magic cure has rid you of that nasty COVID. Diddle little little diddle I, diddle little little diddle I. That China started this disease, with me you will agree. I acted with impressive speed, no blames attached to me. I'll lock down very soon in place, and foreigners I banned, with US, Chinese expats traced and pursued throughout our land. I'm Donald Trump, your president, the man who's fighting COVID. Trust every word you hear me say, make sure I'm often quoted. Take hydroxychloroquine and soon you will have noted Donald's magic cure has rid you of that nasty COVID. Diddle little little diddle I, diddle little little diddle I. Those UV rays the virus zaps, destroys it in a trice. And disinfectant tastes like snaps, it's really rather nice. My science really is quite swell, but caused a little rancor as media and the doctors yelled, "Shut up, you far-right canker." At least, I think that's what they shouted at me. I'm Donald Trump, your president, the man who's fighting COVID. Trust every word you hear me say, make sure I'm often quoted. Take hydroxychloroquine and soon you will have noted Donald's magic cure has rid you of that nasty COVID. Diddle little little diddle I, diddle little little diddle I. The New York Times thinks I'm a clown that's always eating burgers. I'll shut that fake news outlet down, no more will they me perjure. It's time to work on my campaign to get back in November, so Donald Trump once more will reign with all due pomp and splendor. I'm Donald Trump, your president, the man who's fighting COVID. Trust every word you hear me say, make sure I'm often quoted. Take hydroxychloroquine and soon you will have noted Donald's magic cure has rid you of that nasty COVID. Thank you, fellow Americans, and good luck and God bless you all. You've been watching the Two Moronnies who have been locked down. Musical arrangements were by Alan Ferguson, vocals and lyrics were performed by Tim Wilcock and Les Morse, and the whole thing was held together by blue tack and a few bent rusty nails.